every 20 minutes. It's your statewide Alabama weathercast.
Good afternoon, I'm meteorologist Drew McCombs with the Alabama Weather Network, and we have your afternoon Alabama forecast update. And take a look across the state. The vast majority of the state is dry with a good bit of sunshine, warm, just some scattered clouds around, just kind of a nice day out there. A couple of showers in eastern Alabama, and then we do have a couple of showers and a couple of storms just starting to cross the state line in the Tennessee Valley. And we actually have a severe thunderstorm warning of it north of the state line. We'll take a closer zoom here. So again, up in parts of Lauderdale County, starting to move into Limestone County, got a little cell here moving through Lexington. No warning on that one at this point. But if you look up into near Fayetteville, Tennessee, there you can see that there is a severe thunderstorm warning that's been issued for this storm, and it's slowly sinking down towards the state line. Might clip the northern part of the Jackson County here in the next hour or so, but we'll see if they continue. That just depends on the strength of it. But the main threat with any of these storms that might be around the northern part of the state would be potentially just heavy rain, lightning, maybe some gusty winds, possibly some small hail. But we'll see again just how these go through the rest of the evening, because they're definitely really supposed to just kind of skirt the edge of the northern part of the state. But we will continue to watch those. And looking further toward the east, again, just a few showers have kind of pulsed up here in parts of Randolph County there near Roanoke, and now have mostly moved over across the state line into Georgia at this point. All right, so taking a look at our sky cams here, Florence looking back towards some of those cells to the northeast of there, and so you can see a little bit of rain there and some taller clouds there with the storms off in the distance. The temperature is 86 degrees there. And then as we move over towards Huntsville, looking off in the direction of some of those storms as well. So see a little bit of darkness over there, but not got quite as good of a view, but seeing some of those clouds beginning to climb over there in Huntsville as well. But otherwise over Huntsville itself, still nice and warm. Bald Rock, the temperature is at 84 degrees. Beautiful view there from atop Bald Rock, and nice day there across. Again, most of the state is just kind of warm and not too humid out there overall, especially in the northern part of the state. And as we move down to Dozier, it's 87 degrees, blue skies with some scattered cumulus clouds. And again, the dew point's not too bad. They're around 68 degrees for kind of the southern part of the state. And then Dauphin Island, it's been a nice day down there as well. It's 86 degrees. Again, not much going on, just a few scattered clouds there over the Gulf. So what we're watching through the rest of today and through the weekend is, again, a few showers and storms, mainly along that very northern part of the state, near the state line, with a couple of those possibly being strong. Again, not a huge chance there. But then tomorrow it's going to be mainly hot. Again, most of the state should just be hot and dry. Still outside chance, a couple of scattered storms could kind of scrape by the northern edge of the state, so we'll keep an eye on that. But again, it should be mainly just another even a little bit hotter day tomorrow with dry conditions across the vast majority of the state. And then as we get into the weekend, we'll have a cold front that will bring a few more showers and cool us down a little bit as we get into Sunday. But temperatures right now are in the upper 80s to around 90 degrees in many spots. It's 90 in Montgomery and in Auburn. It's 92 in Demopolis right now. It's 91 in Birmingham. It's also 90 in Florence. So we've gotten 90-degree temperatures that have gotten pretty uniform across the state, in some places in the upper 80s. As we look at the forecast highs for tomorrow, again, expecting to be a little bit warmer. So we could get into the mid-90s in many places. 95 degrees forecast in Tuscaloosa, 93 in Thomasville, 93 in Atmore, and even potentially places like Florence could get up a little bit above the mid-90s and around 96 degrees. So future cast, again, we see, as we'll note, near the state line, the model picking up on some of those showers there, and even some of the ones a little bit further into the kind of south central part of the area. But as you can see, the model kind of skirts those along and doesn't really do a whole lot with them. And then for the rest of the night, we're fairly calm. Then as we get into tomorrow, again, most of the day should be dry. Could see a scattering of a few showers and thunderstorms in the afternoon into the evening. But as we look at the kind of general time frame of high school football games, it looks like should be mostly dry across most of the state, but can't rule out an isolated shower or storm. And then we have some glancing storms there later in the evening on Friday that could kind of edge their way across the state line, but it doesn't look like, at least this model is showing those staying to the north, and so not a huge chance of that. And then as we get into Saturday afternoon, definitely a better chance of more widespread showers and thunderstorms as this cold front approaches the state and starts to move across as we get later into late Saturday night into Sunday morning. As far as the severe weather outlook for today, again, those few thunderstorms right there north of the state line, there's a category 1 marginal risk for those, mainly again for potentially some gusty winds. And then as we look at tomorrow, a similar part of the state and maybe even a little bit more showing up in the marginal risk for tomorrow. Again, that's, I think, a pretty conditional risk here. Not even totally sure we're going to get those storms in that area, but if there are some that form in that green area there in the Tennessee Valley, could see again heavy rain, lightning, gusty winds, things of that nature. All right, here's your Friday night forecast for the football games across the northern part of the state. Again, most places should be dry. It's expecting to see the temperatures fall through the mid to upper 80s down into the 70s over the course of the games. Should be pretty good out there, although definitely kind of warm. And then similar conditions as we get into the southern part of the state. Definitely a better chance of just being completely dry across most of the southern part of the state with, again, temperatures falling from the upper 80s down into the 70s over the course of those games. Looking at our college football games, UAB is going to be playing away at Navy in Annapolis, Maryland, and that's going to be at 2:30 p.m. on Saturday. Expecting temperatures in the 80s. Scattered showers and storms certainly possible with this game, and potentially even likely with that. Then as we take a look at the Auburn game in Auburn at 6:30 p.m. on Saturday, again, we'll expect to start off in the upper 80s, fall through the 80s over the course of the game. Scattered shower or two is possible. Again, but it's very possible it'll stay dry as well, but there could be a passing shower as that front begins to approach. And a similar story in Tuscaloosa as well, as Alabama's playing Louisiana Monroe, as the temperature around kickoff will be in the 80s, and then chance of a passing shower, but it should be mainly dry at this point, as that's what it's looking like for that. So here's your 7-day forecast. North Alabama, again, for today, we've got that small chance right there near the state line of a couple of showers and thunderstorms. Again, tomorrow, similar idea. We'll be watching that, but it's mainly just going to be hot with temperatures into the mid-90s. And then we'll have that higher rain chance with the front approaching on Saturday. But then look after that, we see things cool down just a little bit with temperatures only reaching into the low 80s in the afternoons, and lows in the overnight periods get down into the 50s again, kind of like we saw a week or so ago. And then for South Alabama, again, it's going to just kind of stay hot and not big chances of rain as we go through the next few days. Maybe slightly elevated on Saturday as we get that front closing in on the state. And then as that front does go ahead and pass all the way through the state, we'll see those temperatures dial back just a little bit in the southern part of the state as well. That is your latest Alabama forecast. We'll have another one coming up later on the Alabama Weather Network.